don't know how many of you know or have been around people who are Jewish, but they're not going to stray very far from home. They stick to their own, essentially. They're not going to speak anything but Hebrew. Some people say that Jesus spoke Aramaic. He may have known how to speak Aramaic, but the Jewish people are so stubborn that when they got their nation again, they reinstated a dead language. That's how much they love the language that God gave them. So for them to speak outside of their common tongue was unheard of. But you've got people from all over the nations that are there witnessing what's happening. And God is speaking to each and every one of them in a voice that they were raised with. Only God can do that. Now I want you to remember that on Mount Sinai, when Moses descended from Mount Sinai, he saw a great abomination that was happening. And the Levites drew their swords and they killed 3,000 men at the foot of that mountain. Now I want you to listen to this. Peter, he's finished his great sermon, his first great sermon, filled with the Spirit of God. And with many other words, he testified and exhorted them, saying, "Be saved from this perverse generation." Then those who gladly received his word were baptized, and that day 3,000 souls were added to them. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The error that was made at Mount Sinai was corrected in the upper room. 3,000 men were not killed that day. 3,000 men were saved and added to the kingdom of heaven. Isn't God good?
Amen.
Oh, I love the Lord. Now I want you to know that that same God who, before we were ever born, before there was ever a church, before there was ever a saved Gentile on this planet, he knew what was going to happen. He planned everything out. I'm not going to try and explain predestination to you. Preachers have been trying to explain that for 80 years and none of them have done it right yet. Nobody can explain predestination. God is, He was, and He always will be, and that's it. You can't explain how He knows everything before it happens. It's beyond our thinking. If Jesus, and John testifies that if we wrote down every miracle of Jesus, that the universe could not contain it. How could we understand God? If we couldn't understand every miracle that was done on this earth by the Messiah, how can we understand what God understands? We can't. We just have to accept in faith that all of these things are true, and everything that we read about and everything that we feel inside of ourselves is real. He's got a plan. He's had a plan. And He's going to fulfill His plan. Because the days are coming again where darkness, if we're not already there, darkness is going to fill this earth. And He's got a plan. I've read the end of the book. We win. The devil's read the end of the book. He knows we win too.